Pitch is a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double.
Pitch is a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2 is upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Back. You feel pretty good about yourself, aren't you? And then the Celtics looked like the Celtics last night. The MVP looked like a guy playing through an injury. And you get a absolute walloping last night in Beantown, 121-87. What's 21 and 13? 34? A 34-point beat down of the Sixers. And that series is even as we head back to the city of brotherly love. Good day to you and merry, merry Thursday. Glad you're with us, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Bobcat.
Bob,
yes. So what's up? I heard A. Marie over on Clark, and they were laughing. Clark's laughing at us, by the way.
Yes, of course.
By the way, good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning and thank you. And I missed doing this.
No, it's been a minute. I'm glad you're here. So let me make it clear. I'm really glad you're here.
Thank you.
What's up, dude? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I mean,
laughing at us.
I've been out of
at
town.
Bob in Philadelphia this morning.
Yeah.
See what happened to the Phillies and 76ers?
Well, so Bob brings on A. Marie, and A. Marie, since you're over here, who's producing the opening drive with Jeff and JJ over on our sister station? Right? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe a Bobcat. He's like, oh, Bob Walpo, and you look like you just have that I don't care.
Well, that's that show. What can I say?
She starts laughing. I'm like,
that had to have been before 6:30.
It was before. It was before 6:30.
Because I walked in at 6:30.
Yeah, it was before 6:30. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm back.
I am too.
Yeah, it's been a run. You good at sitting on that side of the table today?
Of course.
All right. What's going on? You good?
Very good.
Do you watch? So I didn't see much of the Celtics and Sixers. That was not an option on the flight last night. And by the time it was an option, it was over. 121-87, complete domination. Jaylen Brown, 25 points. Got 23 off the bench from Malcolm Brogdon. James Harden went for 45 in game one, was 2 of 14 shooting. And if you're watching on the simulcast, you're getting some highlights and appreciate what Adrian's doing on the visual medium. So they did a great job on Harden. And Joel Embiid comes back, looks like a guy he's fighting through an injury, and it's going to be tough. I heard a lot of people saying, JJ, he shouldn't have played. And I think I disagree with that. You're going to need him to win the series. Get him back in and get the process started as long as he's not doing any more damage.
It was all about the Boston Celtics last night because they're the best team left in basketball, talent-wise. And when they are on, they can do that. They can run away from people. Because Philadelphia, they still got some question marks of what exactly are going to be. Embiid's back, but then Harden went into too much of a shell. I know he was terrible from the field going 2 of 14, but he's got to find that balance, even with Joel Embiid back, of being aggressive while setting everyone else up. What he's done good at this season in his kind of new role as he's morphed in his career in Philadelphia. But when Boston is locked in, they are so good because Jason Tatum didn't do anything last night, and they still blew Philadelphia out the built. That's what makes the Boston Celtics so scary is they have the options, they have the length, they have so many guys that can score the basketball. And if you're Philadelphia, I'm with you on that point. Joel Embiid's healthy, get him in the game. He only played 27 minutes. He didn't overextend himself. It'll kind of get him comfortable back on the floor because that's going to be the series. Because if Joel Embiid can be a player like we've seen Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, yeah, that can get you right back in this series, but he's got to be able to be that guy. And I think getting him 27 minutes doesn't sound like there's any problems or anything was aggravated or hurt after the game any more so than any time else in the season. It was a fine move for Philadelphia. Yeah. They just didn't show up.
I think that's the right answer. I think that's where they needed to go on that. And with the Embiid thing, I mean, was he good? Was he great? Was it Joel Embiid? Not really, no. But if you're telling me I've got to get him work back in and get it started, fine. Get him. Would you tell me how many minutes?
27 minutes.
All right, I got him 27 minutes, 15 points, but I got him out there, and at least he's able to get back in the groove and test that injured knee. And I like this whole he shouldn't have played thing. I can't go there. I think you're wrong, if in fact that's where you are. But you're going to tell me, well, they lost, Jeff. Yeah, they lost, but. I mean, what's your point? All right, 505-246-0610 is the number to get in today. We're going to do a lot of baseball in the 9 o'clock hour, right? So Scott Oberg's going to be with us. He's got a fascinating story. Now he's in the front office with the Rockies and in for day baseball today for Isotopes.
Yes, Scott Oberg, 5 years in the Rockies organization as a pitcher. Now he's special assistant for baseball operations for the club because his career ended unexpectedly. He spent the last 3 years battling blood clots.
Crazy, right?
So he had one of the best years, 2018 into 2019. Actually had saved some games for the Rockies, was a prominent member of their bullpen. And then blood clots happened and couldn't quite get over it. Had a couple procedures over the last few years and officially retired in January. And the one thing the Rockies are really good at, it is keeping people around good people in the organization. We've seen it recently with Clint Hurdle and his role for the last couple seasons. And then they're allowing Scott Oberg to do that. Be a guy that goes around the minor leagues, helps with the pitching staff, and really interested to talk with him because this is a fascinating story. Like the guy wasn't ready to give up baseball, but he was forced to give up baseball. And now how does he help the young players achieve their goal?
Yeah. So we'll do that. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. I think you'll really enjoy that. 9:30, Josh Sushan's going to join us from the ballpark. Day baseball on Cuatro de Mayo. It is the Isotopes and Sugarland Space Cowboys. How about last night? Did you see the number last night? 22-4. Good guys over the visitors last night. 22-4. Does that mean they get beat 2-1 tonight or today?
Yeah.
Right? We'll talk to Josh about that. But it doesn't always kind of mean
all their runs yesterday.
Right? You pump 22 down someone's throat one day and you're begging for runs the next day is kind of how it feels. So we're going to go there. We got the Derby coming up this weekend, and we're open for that. I know it's your favorite event of the year, the Kentucky Derby, but we'll get there. And then got to get into what's going on down New Mexico State and listen to Deuce Benjamin and Shaq Adenewu yesterday speak for the first time. I'm not even going to pretend I know everything that went on, but I watched two really emotional young men yesterday speak, and so we're going to go there. All right. I guess I should wrap up kind of the week, huh? my week at league meetings. Would you think? And if you didn't hear two of the athletic directors from Mountain West, I was at conference meetings this week in Scottsdale. Now I'm not sitting in all these meetings. It's with the athletic directors and the football coaches, but they were all there, and I got some good time with a lot of them, JJ. And I think I come away from this year, from the Mountain West Conference, with a different feel than many years. A lot of years, the league's always stable, if that makes sense. Stable to the point where I'm not worried that it's blowing up, it's disintegrating, that a team may leave. Even when Utah and TCU left, like, it was a bummer to lose them. I think San Diego State at some point is going to leave, and we talked to their athletic director, J.D. Wicker, yesterday on our program. If you missed it, it's available for you wherever you get podcasts and on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. But all of the athletic directors and the football coaches, for that matter, were in a place where they really feel good. They understand there's a separation. There's the power leagues, and then there's the non-power leagues. But they like their position amongst the non-power leagues, and they really consider themselves to be the best, and I think they're right.
The Mountain West is in a stable position. They have a good television contract. The times are pretty good, and that's something that Eddie talked about, is just addressing the start times. I don't know
how we're going to do that. I mean, that's been a conversation for a long time.
And especially if you're someone that gets all your games picked up in conference play like the Lobos were, there's going to be a certain amount of windows, because if you want to say
football, they weren't, though.
Yeah, but if you want to say, hey, we need to even this up, then that doesn't mean that you're always going to get your games televised. So there's a balancing act within all this, and the biggest challenge is going to be football, because that is going to be the hardest thing for this league to continue to be really good at.
Well, do you think so? Because there's a guaranteed spot now in the college football playoff moving forward for the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. Okay. I look at the American that's been the other league. The Sun Belt had a really good year last year. There's no arguing what Coastal Carolina did, what James Madison appears like they're going to be able to do, right? The Sun Belt's got some teams. The American, I think North Texas will be good, but you just watch Cincinnati, Central Florida. Who's the third? Cincinnati, Central Florida. Houston. Go over to the Big 12. So they've got a chance every year. They're not going to every year, but they've got a chance every year to place a team in the playoff.
Yeah, but the problem's going to be depth. I don't know.
It always is.
I don't know if the teams at the bottom of the Mountain West Conference can ever get good.
So you're talking New Mexico, UNLV, the teams that have consistently not been carrying their weight.
I know San Diego State, Boise State, going to find ways to win games.
Fresno State.
Probably Fresno State.
I'm pretty convinced Fresno State will. So I look around and I think Wyoming's always going to be solid. I do believe Colorado State comes back. Air Force has proven that they're going to be solid almost every year. So that means, can Nevada bring it back? San Jose State's, to me, established themselves as a pretty consistently solid program now. Not great, but a consistently, 500 or better team. With what Brent Brennan's done there. Yeah, let's talk about that when we come back. We'll talk about football in the Mountain West and can they continue? I'll tell you kind of some more of the stuff that I learned, including why certain coaches really do believe that this is the best Group of 5, not just basketball, because everybody's talking about basketball, but Group of 5 league when it comes to football. Hey, I'm going to be out at Frank's Supply today. So today is that big day, the big day for you to go out and celebrate. We do this once a year, and if you use tools in your job, or if you're just looking for tools around the house, this is the day. And this is unlike any other we've done in the past. This is their 70th anniversary celebration. So there's unbelievable savings on professional tools and equipment. It's today. So come by and check it. I'm going to be out there from 11 to 1. They've got anniversary specials. So listen, if you purchase a DeWalt rotary hammer, you receive a carbide bit set free. You buy $500 in Proto hand tools, you receive a Proto backpack for free. Buy a Champion mag drill, you get a $25 gift card. So yeah, they're basically giving customers free gifts with purchase. First time I went out to this event, I had no idea what it was. There's going to be hundreds of people out there. It's like a carnival. I mean, it really is. They give all kinds of product away. There's product demonstrations. There's 35 manufacturers out there. So everything will be on sale today, just today, May 4th. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'll be there from 11 to 1. It's family-owned and operated Frank Supply right there on Stanford. So it's 3311 Stanford Drive, Northeast. That's 3311 Stanford Drive, Northeast. You could phone them at 505-884-0000. That's 884-0000. It's on Stanford Drive, just to the north of Candelaria, or Candelaria. How do you say it, Bob? Is it Candelaria? 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 How do you say it? Come on, say the street.
Well, being a gringo from Denver.
You say Candelaria.
No, I say Candelaria.
I know, that's where it is. I'll see you out there at Frank Supply this afternoon.
Makes a little sports analysis.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S.
Eagle. Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Been some good time with some good people. That's the other thing about this league right now, JJ, and I'm looking forward. I guess I don't know. There's always people you don't like, and in a setting like this, it's usually pretty good. But the Mountain West Conference meetings, it's set up for, at least for the bowl reps, for the bowl directors to get good time with the coaches and the athletic directors, and to spend time with Brent Brennan and talk about just how fired up they are, and then you don't only just talk football, right? You learn family stuff and how you live in and how's this. So you asked about consistency. And I guess this is a little bit like when we come back from media day, right? Everybody's great. Met the new coach at UNLV, right? He was able to keep all his recruits, and everybody wanted to come back, and he talked about the advantage of playing in an NFL stadium. Well, so did the last.
Been there, done that.
So, right. So did the last guy. So let's see. But I learned that Craig Bull at Wyoming, thinking about buying another horse. Which was so on brand, by the way. How on brand is it for the Wyoming coach to tell his AD, I think I'm buying another horse.
Craig, keep getting bowl eligible. You can have all the horses you want.
Right? So, but they retool up there. And with Craig, it's always the same. He said, I'm still waiting for that call. At some point, they're coming back. Really interesting conversations with Brady Hoke and J.D. Wicker at San Diego State, and what basketball has been able to do for football, which it's usually the other way, right?
Yes.
I think I look at the program. Tell me who you think cannot be consistently good. I mean, do you worry about New Mexico? Fair, because they haven't been consistently good, right?
I worry about the Lobos, the Rebels,
Nevada,
and I think it's going to be really hard for teams to come back, like Nevada and even Colorado State.
So I think Colorado State will.
San Jose State, Wyoming, this is like your ceiling. They're bowl eligible, but 7-5, 7-6.
So you don't think there's a 9-win season in there somewhere for a team like that?
Possibly, but I don't think will be necessarily because those teams are really good. So everything that you felt about kind of usually the Mountain West Conference and the transporter and hurting teams, I think it's going to have the biggest impact on football.
So the football coaches certainly talked about the portal and how it's different for football than basketball, right? And who was I talking to? Somebody specifically about this. I know exactly who it was. Doggone. Anyway, in basketball, I feel that this league, and he agreed, is getting more advantage than loss, right? The more guys coming in that are helping, the more guys are leaving that are hurting. In football, it's the other way, and they've got to find a way to turn it around, right? NIL, collective, all that stuff's real. So hear me out on this. So let me say you're right. Let's go under your assumption that San Jose State, Wyoming max out. They're regularly 6-6, 7-5. Utah State's probably going to be in that same realm, right? Okay. So that to me means the bottom isn't that weak. Doesn't that help the league if the middle is strong? I mean, every league's going to have teams that are 6-6 every year, 7-5, 2-5, or I'm sorry, 2-10. What you've got to do is protect your teams at the top, that their strength of schedule, their wins don't hurt them, if that makes any sense, right? So all of a sudden now you've got a 12-1 team. Pick it. I mean, let's just say Fresno State. And they're 12-1, and the Americans got a 12-1, and it's Tulane. Okay, who's going to the playoff? And that's where your league's got to be consistent. That's your concern, right? The bottom of the league can't bring them down.
100%.
Yeah.
I because this is one. I think if you look at the coaches across the league, the teams, there is stability, and that is important. I'm just kind of in a wait and see mode to how the rest of these teams manage turnover, because there's certain teams like Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State. Now it's a different world. Jay Kaner's moving on, and they've been so good over the last few years of finding that next guy at quarterback. So I think that the schools that are solid are going to be able to maintain that. The biggest thing is someone going to be able to jump? So you need another
team to jump into the top, especially if San Diego State leaves.
Because
right?
one of those schools is going to have a bad year. It's going to happen.
It always does.
But is there ability for someone to come up in those years and then fill that void and be a good team and take their program forward? And that spot open.
And what you're saying is like, where's the Tulane, right? Where did Tulane come out of last year? I mean, with all due respect, where the hell did that happen? They were the Group of 5 representative in the New Year's Six game. They beat USC in the Cotton Bowl. They won the American. They beat UCF. They beat Cincinnati. They beat like where the hell did that come from, right? What you're saying is where's that program? Who is that?
That and just the fact you want the league to be competitive, and going in like right now, Fresno State was 7-1 last year, but again, Jay Kaner, I just look at it and go, is it just going to be Boise State, San Diego State for insert however many years moving forward, as long as the Aztecs are in the conference?
Yeah. And then when San Diego State's gone, then what happens? I think Fresno State's established. I think Fresno State with Jeff Tedford there, I think that program is established. I mean, you don't think they're in that ilk now with San Diego State and Boise State? Did they win the league last year? They won the league last year. The year before, when they won our game, we had this conversation. They were a 10-win team. They probably were the best team in the league by the end of the year. And Jeff Tedford wasn't even there. That was with Kalen DeBoer. I think you've got 3 programs right now who are established that year in and year out you say they can contend. And we're not even talking about Air Force. Didn't Air Force win 10 games again last year? So I think that your point's fair. They've got to find consistency in the middle, at the bottom of the middle, for teams to come back and win. But I think that's right. And I look around the league now. I see coaches in some spots. Jay Norvell, while he's in his second year at Colorado State, I feel like he's been in this league. Like there's consistency. Craig Bull's been there at Wyoming for a while. Jeff Tedford's in his second run, and I don't think he's going anywhere until he wants to at Fresno State. Brady Hoke's back at San Diego State. You feel like, it's his second run, and he's been there for a while in some capacity. Danny's been there for a little while. Like I look around and I say, okay, it feels like Andy Avalos back at Boise State. It feels like there's some consistency in the league, and I think that's what is going to take getting them to that point. All right, 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today at 505-246-0610. When we come back, you guys were, I think some of you, and it depends what shade of red you tend to lean to in this state, whether it's crimson or cherry. Some of you were surprised and raised an eyebrow when Mario Mocha got the extension as the athletic director at New Mexico State. The faculty is now not just surprised, but voicing their concern, I guess is the right word. I guess the word in quotes is deep concern. Why and should they be? We'll talk about that when we return. IPS watches my home. Like I tell you that every day. And then I know you've seen their vehicles, their cars, their trucks, their officers all around town. Who is IPS? They're affordable private security started by Aaron Jones back in 2006, providing security for homeowners in Fort Hills. International Protective Service watches businesses, homes, property crimes on the rise. Officer shortage continues to be an issue. And so Aaron has highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols, who are out every day making our community a better place and a safer place to live and to work. I've trusted Aaron for years. I've trusted IPS. And it's not just when I'm gone, guys. Like yes, when I'm gone, I see them on the cameras all the time. They're coming by multiple times a day, checking out my property, making sure everything's okay. If you get a package delivered, they pick it up. Mail, newspapers, garbage service, they'll take care of, roll the cans out to the curb and back. But they're by every day. Officer Crespin comes by on a regular basis. I've gotten to know him now. It gives my family a sense of security. My neighbors now use them as well. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information.
So a really emotional day down in Las Cruces yesterday. Deuce Benjamin, Shaq Adenewu, the alleged victims of the, is it alleged? I guess it still is. I don't even know what the right term is anymore. But the 2 student athletes who have filed a lawsuit and were alleged to have been the victims of the hazing and sexual assault on a New Mexico State with a basketball program spoke yesterday. And today there's going to be a vote. And this is the faculty senate down at New Mexico State. So this is, the way I understand it, is leaders of the faculty, right? So it's like their executive board or their the senate of the faculty is going to vote today on a resolution that says, quote, "It was astonishing and deeply disheartening," end quote, when Mario Mocha, the athletic director, received his new contract and his raise. This is a quote from the letter put out by the New Mexico State Faculty Senate. It said, "It is irrational why the former NMSU chancellor would so handsomely reward an individual when the non-academic unit they supervise was almost single-handedly responsible for diminishing NMSU's reputation on a national level over the past year," end quote. So they are surprised, upset, shocked, concerned, whatever the words are, that Mario got the raise. He got a $71,800 pay bump and an extension. And I mean, you know the story. I don't know what they're going to be able to do about it. And I'm going to tell you this. The majority of Aggie fans I know that I've talked to were like, damn right. Like good that Mario's going to be here. Mario's been good for our athletic department. I listen, right, and I know you hear and read and see the same things that I do. That Aggie fan, not all of them, but the majority that I've seen, heard, spoke to, read, are in great support of Mario as athletic director. They feel that the good has completely outweighed this situation.
And you can also see it from the other side of this was a golden parachute on the way out by a buddy. So, here's a contract extension, here's a bunch of money with everything that's going on, and you think that's okay? That blows my mind.
It blows your mind the time, right? That's where
that
a
was
lot
the
of
whole,
people are like,
final day, here you go, buddy, here's a nice raise longer on your contract, got you covered, because it's not like you should be held accountable for anything at New Mexico State.
No, well, that's certainly what and here I'll use the word again, the optics of the whole thing was. I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't asked about that a number of times. It's not like I know what's going on, but when I was in Arizona this week, I guess, Aggie fan, where are you on this? The number is 505-246-0610 to get in. 505-246-0610. I guess Lobo fan as well. Well, I just got this, and I didn't know this. NMSU sure knows how to pick them. Jason Hooten already under investigation. Good luck recruiting now. What did I miss on Jason Hooten being under investigation?
Oh, that was when the Secretary of Education.
Yep, Stephanie Rodriguez
put out a letter concerned about, was it retaliation when Hooten told
Deuce Benjamin
to go somewhere else?
Okay.
So that's what was brought up in that letter.
All right. So that's another part of this, right? Deuce Benjamin, who spoke yesterday, and was there with his dad, and his dad's a coach at Las Cruces High. He's in the New Mexico State Basketball Hall of Fame. And Deuce is from Las Cruces and was, the claims that he was told by the new head coach, you'd be better off somewhere else. And the dad said that was just insult to injury. Did you watch any of that? Did you see any of the highlights, or highlights is the wrong word? Did you see any of the clips or of the news? I don't know what you thought. It was heart-wrenching to watch Deuce speak.
And this is one too, and we discussed this when the initial lawsuit came out, and the back and forth that's going on, and people thinking that this has been resolved, and that it's actually like these players just lashing out for what was going on. Like, they're putting their names and faces to this. Like, this isn't just everyone trying to connect the dots after the fact versus who transferred, who's not talking. Like, they're out there. Like, this is affecting their reputation as much as the people that are being accused in this situation. And so that's one of the things I look at this too, is these players, I don't think would be doing all this just because laying themselves out on the line, saying this happened to them, speaking up on it, seeing the emotions that are there, just to get back at,
just to make stuff up. There's so much in there that you listen to or read and you just go, wow. This is from Shaq Adenu. I'm so struggling with this name. Adenewu, and I'm sorry I'm struggling with that name. But Shaq said this yesterday, quote, "I'm coming back to the locker room and all I see is one of my teammates getting sexually assaulted. Coach was standing over there. So I told him, like, yo, can you tell them to stop? He just jokingly laughed it off and was like, what do you want me to do? And I just left him alone because that just really blew my mind." End quote. I want you to think about that. What's going on? He said, I just saw one of my players sexually assaulted. The coach was right there. He didn't say which coach. And I said, yo, can you tell him to stop? And the coach said, what do you want me to do? He said he had been through the same treatment by his teammates as well. And he didn't want to come forward. He said, quote, I didn't want to come out and mess up their futures. But it just got to the point where I just couldn't bear it anymore. You guys, is more and more, end quote, by the way, the more and more this comes out, I don't know, again, is it realistic to assume the athletic director didn't know about this? Yeah, it is. And it is realistic to assume that he did. I imagine that's right, too. I don't know the answer to that. Okay? No investigation up to this point has implicated, and this goes back up to the conversation that the Senate's had and the letter that they wrote. All I know is, man, the more I hear about this, the more I read. And JJ, I know I shared a lot of stuff with you that I'd heard off the record and that was innuendo. So I didn't share with our audience because none of it was verified, right? But it's all becoming verified now. When I shared some of the stuff with you, like back when this went down, we both sat there and just went, "There's no way," right? We just didn't. Everything we kept hearing, you didn't want to believe.
Yeah, you didn't want to be like that. What was alleged was going on, and that there were people looking the other way.
You just didn't want to believe that this was happening. That it was allowed to be happening. First of all, who the hell does it, right? Where does it come into your mind that that's what I'm going to do to my teammate? Hazing. Then Bobcat's in for Amarita. When you hear hazing, because that's what we were first told. And I remember I told you this at the beginning, JJ. I said this on that first week. This is not hazing. This will be sexual assault, right? I did say that. When you hear hazing, what do you think of?
Whipped cream in the hair.
Okay.
Something like that. Something that's maybe embarrassing a little bit, but certainly not sexual assault.
Right. Carry our bags around, go
that
do
type of
chores.
Thing. Yeah. You're low man on the totem pole.
Initiation kind of stuff.
Initiation.
Yeah.
But not something that hurts you.
Sexual assault. You want to be my teammate? I'm going to sexually assault you. I just, you guys, the more I hear it, I'm not looking to beat this into the ground. I'm not looking to beat up on New Mexico State. But when I don't know, like Aggie fan, when you saw these two young men, one of them still wearing your logo, right? When you saw these young men yesterday speaking, I don't think they're good enough actors. I don't know them though, to put on some act. What'd you think? Because it just, I sat there and I hurt for these two young men yesterday when I heard this. Matt, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Matt.
Hi guys. So yeah, I'm a Aggie alum, but been in Albuquerque for the last 18 years. So actually more of a local fan these days. So there's the irony. In regards to Moch, I don't think it really matters whether he knew or not. I think if you captain the ship and things happen that are a certain level of seriousness, it doesn't matter if he knew or not. He needs to go. When you get into positions of leadership, you're responsible for hiring the right people, vetting them, and yeah, mistakes happen and things out of your control, but ultimately you're responsible. And he just has to go, whether he knew or not.
Right.
My 2 cents.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you. That's an Aggie alum, right? Who's saying that?
Yes.
And for many people, it is that cut and dry, and okay. For many others who were Aggie alum, Aggie fans say, you know what? But he hired Chris Jans, and he hired Jerry Kill, and he's balanced the budget.
I think you're missing the point with this entire situation.
Well, but what they're saying is the good.
And I think those people are missing the point. If you're looking at, hey, we won a bowl game, y'all. We got the best football coach in the state. This goes beyond everything.
So this outweighs everything else.
I think you have to seriously put this on the table and go, fantastic. This is unbelievable. Just think about it. That if you're sitting there, and I know people have done that.
Yeah.
Like you said, I've heard it. I've seen it on the social media. What you're saying is you don't believe what these two players are saying, and that there should be zero accountability, because it just blows my mind to be like, hey, won a bowl game, but our athletic director shouldn't be responsible for almost destroying the athletic department, and to sit here and say he is the one that would just be Skittles and rainbows. And I had no idea this was going. There was no way that ever got back to you. That everyone else was trying to talk about this, trying to figure it out, but you were the one just over there going, getting your contract signed on the final day, going, this is amazing. And yeah, absolutely, he should be questioned right now.
Do you think he should be fired? Because I'm not there. I don't know that I understand what Matt just said, right? When you're the boss, it comes down to you. It does, right? when we had an issue that wasn't my fault, but it came down to me, right? Like it was a circumstantial thing, and things went the wrong way, and it came down to me. When stuff happens here, it goes up to the boss, right? I get it. The investigations that they've conducted internally and externally, I haven't heard or seen anything that absolutely straight out implicates Mario to the point where he should be fired. And I know, look, do you agree that he's done a lot of good things down there? He has, right?
That's two different things.
I understand. No, I understand. That's why I'm trying to keep them separate, and weigh it out. All right, we can continue this because it's interesting. I'm just kind of curious. You Aggie alum, Aggie fan, where are you? You saw, so there's going to be a vote today down there with the faculty senate. Now I don't even know what are they going to do? They're going to vote on their deep concern. The contract's signed. I don't know what they're going to be able to do with this vote. And then you got what's going on at Eastern. What the hell is going on in the state? And the governor's come out, and there's going to be this anti-hazing task force, and the Secretary of Higher Education is involved and everything. We got a lot more to talk about on this, but Aggie fan, want to hear from you. Your thoughts. Are you with the faculty senate, or are you saying, hey, let's move on? We got an athletic director who's been leading, and that's where you want to go. I'm really, really interested in where you are, especially New Mexico State fans. 505-246-0610. Hey, school's going to be out soon. Looking for that perfect gift for the teacher who's been great with your child all year? I got that perfect gift. So I always think a perfect gift is something that somebody will love but may not buy for themselves. A gift card with on-the-spot automotive detailing is going to be a huge hit. It always is. On-the-spot's amazing. And for that teacher who spent so much time with your kid, for them to be able to detail their vehicle and have on the spot go to wherever it is convenient, whenever it's convenient, because that's what they do. They come to you. You don't go to them. Detail your vehicle. That's what the car dealers do. Inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims. When they're done, it looks and feels like it's brand new. It's a great, great end of the school year gift. Teachers, for you, On the Spot wants to show you their appreciation as well. On the Spot offers a 10% discount for teachers, as well as always for our military. Call now, get that perfect gift at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. The number's 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or go to otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky.
Such a tough topic, and I know you tune into this, and it's the toy department, and we're sports, and let's laugh and play, and like we normally do, and I so totally agree with you, but this vote down in Las Cruces today, and then from the faculty senate on the concerns, the deep concerns over the athletic director's contract, coming on the heels of watching the emotional, what's the right word? Just the press conference yesterday with Deuce Benjamin and Shaq Adnewu, and then the stuff going on at Eastern. Bobcat's in for Amory today. You just came in and you said something that's startling to me. And go ahead and give the numbers you just gave. And is it really 90%? Is that what they think?
Well, this is from the National Sexual Violence Resource Center.
Yeah.
I like to cite sources.
No, I appreciate that.
And according to them, they're saying that 90% of sexual assaults are on campus are not reported. And that includes men and women.
Well, and I got to believe for men, it's probably even a higher number, right? For men to say that they were sexually assaulted.
Yeah, because you think how many times, how hard is it for a woman to report it, and they're laughed at or whatever. So a lot of them just don't do it. They just kind of, they may not report it to police, but they may go to a resource center or something like that, counseling.
Which, by the way, scares the crap out of me having a kid go to college every year.
Well, you and me both, we're both parents, and when the kids start spreading their wings, you worry even more. But it's even worse for a man.
Yeah.
It just is. And for these two gentlemen to come forward like they have, I put them on a pedestal.
Well, it obviously wasn't easy, right?
No, it wasn't. And for a coach to be right there, that just makes my blood boil.
Yeah, that's what he said yesterday.
Yeah, he does not. That coach apparently does not know right from wrong, and should not have anything to do with.
Well,
coaching
if the answer was, "What do you want me to do about it?" I mean, really, dude? What do you mean? What do you want me to do about it? The right thing. How about that?
Yeah.
Can we start with that? The right thing.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just don't let it happen again. But and I don't know which coach or whatever. Mike sent me an email. It's jeff@sportsanimалabq.com, and you can do that, jj@sportsanimалabq.com. It says, Jeff, their overpaid president was being forced out, so Mario was his way to stick it to the university, i.e. the state of New Mexico taxpayers, one last time on his way out the door. Who makes a major personnel decision on their final day? That's certainly the optics here, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's all right. Text line: the NMSU athletic director should either be fired or his new contract should be voided as a result of bad faith actions on part of the former chancellor, who blatantly and intentionally ignored and disregarded NMSU's athletics conduct that was detrimental to NMSU. Yet, as Sandusky and Paterno at Penn State, it's hard to punish stars guilty of impropriety. That's interesting. That's the first time I'd heard this compared to that. Okay. This one, another one on the text line at 505-246-0610 says, come on, man. Hiring scumbag coaches across the board is just what NMSU does, all for the sake of beating the bleep out of Dixie State and Chicago State every year. It finally came back and bit them in the ass big time. All right, so that's a Lobo fan. You don't like their league. They semi-regularly beat New Mexico too, right? I mean, just saying.
Well, this shouldn't be about wins or losses.
So
this conversation should not be about
do they regularly hire scumbag coaches? I guess I struggle a little bit with that. Now, look, at New Mexico State, have they been a little bit of second chance you? Yeah, they have. Both with coaches and with players, right? And I would argue with you. Now, we're going to have to put scale to this. They've had pretty decent success with guys that might have some luggage, right? Chris Jans came in and he had some baggage. Did a nice job. They've had players who've made mistakes. And now, obviously, this group completely blows that thing out of the water, right? And the scale on it is so much heavier. And so you were asking during the break, and I guess we have this conversation when we come back, do they have to change their philosophy on A, hiring, and B, recruiting? And can they stay competitive that way? Right? 505-246-0610. Want your thoughts, Aggie fan and or Lobo fan. I think I know where Lobo fan is. You're making that pretty clear. Aggie fan, how you feeling? I mean, you see what's going on down there? You saw those two young men speak yesterday. You see the faculty senate's got a vote today. Just your thoughts on your athletic director. You can support him. I know a lot of you do. It's the opening, and I understand that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Telling it like
pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
And JJ Bach.
Yeah, buddy. Celtics 121, Sixers 87. A big win to even up the Eastern Conference semifinal. That was in Massachusetts last night. Jaylen Brown had 25. Malcolm Brogdon came off the bench for 23 for the winners. They win by 34 points. Even back to Philly. You get Lakers and Warriors tonight. I know you're waiting for that. By the way, James Harden, coming off of his 45, had 12 points last night. Isotopes were winners last night, 22-4. 22-4. They beat Sugarland last night. That means they'll score 1 run today. We'll talk to Josh Sushan about that at 9:30, the voice of the Isotopes. But a big one last night. We've been talking about what's going on down in Las Cruces in the Faculty Senate and their vote today in regards to the extension on the contract for Mario Mocha. And I've been asking, Aggie fan, where are you? And look, I'm okay. Like, I've been very clear on this. This one, I'm conflicted. I consider Mario a friend. I root for both the success of both New Mexico and New Mexico State. But I'm not numb to what went down there. And when I watched these 2 young men yesterday, the humanity in me took over. Watching these 2 young men who are obviously, I got one text says broken. Yeah. It's hard, man. And so, where are you with this? And I don't know if it matters. He's got a contract now.
That's where I'm at. Is there's no way that should have been given or signed at this point in time. If you want to let the process play out, I don't think it's as simple as say, well, look, he wasn't named in this lawsuit, so he's in the clear. Like, there's still ongoing things. They had a review telling them to review again. And you need to.
I love reviews.
So this is still playing out, and if you want to go down that road, then I'm okay with that. Like, if you don't want to come in right now and say fired, you want to let the process play out, I'm fine. But there's no way that it's okay that he got that extension and raised at this point in time.
Larry sent me a text that says Mr. Mocha W's most important role is to lead the school's athletes and look out for their well-being. Is he singularly responsible for what's happened? No. It's all happened on his watch. So that makes it hard to applaud his extension and raise. And I'd feel exactly the same if it happened at UNM. It's humans. It's not a time for school allegiance. Okay? Ernie sent me a text, says, hey, Jeff, I'm wondering why they've not pressed charges against these guys who assaulted them. I've wondered that aloud as well, right? There are no charges against, and we know the 3 that are named in the civil lawsuit, right? I've wondered that as well. And I know that there's some people who are standing on saying, well, look, charges haven't been pressed, and so what did this really happen? Do we have a doubt that something happened at this point? Is there anybody who has a doubt that something really went down? There's not, is there?
I don't.
You can have a doubt on who knew and who was responsible, but are we really struggling that this didn't happen anymore? Right? I mean, there's enough there that I don't know. Dan said, would you want your child to go to NMSU? These young men are broken. I don't know that I can pass a whole judgment on an entire institution because of what happened in a men's basketball program. Now, you're going to say, well, Jeff, look at what you guys were just talking about yesterday with San Diego State because of men's basketball. Yeah. It's an impression, right? But I can't pass a whole judgment. I can't tell you what I think of San Diego State University as a whole. That might be all you know. That'll get you to look at them. I feel like I know a little bit more about the university and at New Mexico State and the people and the alumni than to just pass judgment on because of what happened in the basketball program this year. Is that? I mean, I'm trying to think a couple of layers deeper.
It's a little different too. If you're someone that's on the football team or recruited in another Olympic sport, going through it right now, and you have to answer those questions. Like every coach that was out recruiting the last few months does have to answer those questions.
Yeah. All right. If you want to get in, you can. It's there. It's what it is. It's 505-246-0610. If you did watch or see or read any of what was said yesterday at the press conference, I just would love your thought on the humanity of it, right? Just where are you? All right, we got other stuff going on. I love when I see Shohei Ohtani joins Babe Ruth in an exclusive club, right? Anytime I see somebody did something Babe Ruth did, doesn't that catch your attention?
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani joins Babe Ruth. 500 strikeouts as a pitcher and 100 home runs as a hitter. He got his 500th strikeout as a pitcher yesterday. So that's a milestone. By the way, the Angels won a game, which is something in its own right. But he struck out a career high, tying 13 Cardinals, and the 13th strikeout was his 15th. Nolan Arenado was the victim of number 500, and so with that strikeout, Shohei Ohtani joins Babe Ruth as the only players in the history of baseball. Right? A lot of guys played this game with 500 strikeouts as a pitcher and 100 home runs as a hitter. Can I make a stupid contention? How many years has he played? It's like 3?
Shohei?
Yeah.
Since 2018.
18, 19, 21. So this is 5th. Dude cannot play another game. If he didn't play another game, he's a Hall of Famer to me. He changed the game. Now, I don't know if he really changed the game because to change the game means there'd have to be more like him. So maybe change the game isn't right, but he's doing something that, again, no one since freaking Babe Ruth has done. When does he get a candy bar named after him? Remember the Baby Ruth bar, Bob? I know you do. The Baby Ruth. It's still out there, isn't it? Like nougat and chocolate and peanuts. The Baby Ruth.
It was never one of my favorite candy
Still
bars.
a good one.
But, well, it wasn't my favorite.
All right, it doesn't have to be.
But so I don't remember seeing it, but I wasn't looking for it. I do know that Dentyne Fire is no longer.
Okay.
The gum. Change of topic.
Sure, there's something back in Japan for Ohtani.
When does he?
Got to be something.
Do you think I'm out of my mind saying if he doesn't play another game,
Dude,
he's a Hall of Famer?
Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player I will see in my life.
I think that's right.
Because this isn't just, it's a pitcher that can pinch hit some homers. I can swing the bat pretty good. The dude striking out 13 hitters in a game.
You know what his ERA is this year? His earned run
almost
average.
hitting for cycles.
Yeah. You know what's his ERA? 2.54. I mean, anybody will take that.
isn't like, oh, look, Clayton Kershaw can swing it a little bit. He ain't being your DH every day.
No. Dude, he not only did he strike out 13 yesterday, he went 3 for 5. He had a double and an RBI. He's hitting 307. He's got 7 home runs this year. Alex Bregman hit his 4th yesterday. Right? He's the guy in Little League. I've said this since it started. He's doing what your best player did in Little League. He's pitching in this case, every 5th game, but in Little League, your best player pitched every other game, or every 3rd game, and was the best player on your team, and was a defensive stud, and was hitting balls out of the yard. He's a grown-ass Little League player, and we're watching it. Not only, it's not even an anomaly anymore. He's doing it consistently. It's an anomaly because nobody else is doing it. And this is where we've talked to baseball coaches, right? I actually want to talk to Scott Oberg about it. If there's a guy who came up and said, "Hey, I can pitch, but I want to play left field, or I want to play third base," would you let him do it? 7 years ago, you'd say hell no, and now I'm watching what Ohtani does, and who's the next one?
And now it's the fact if you're a good enough hitter, you got the designated hitter spot for you.
Right. So you don't even have to play left field, or you could just hit every day, and yeah. And now you got
on caliber pitcher.
It's insane, dude. I just anytime I watch somebody, and you're going to tell me, well, he did what Babe Ruth did, and Babe Ruth's the only other guy who did it. I'm listening.
It's wild to think about this dude, that he won an MVP in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
He was 2nd in MVP voting last year and 4th in Cy Young voting.
Look, to me, he's played. If he didn't play another game, played 4.5 years, I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame. Jeff, how can you do that? It's ridiculous. His numbers aren't there. I know. I know what I saw. I mean, are you watching? And he's doing it on a team that's never very good. He's done something that I didn't think was capable. He's eclipsed Mike Trout.
Dude. He's still only 28.
That's my point. By the way, they're only a game and a half out, and the Rangers aren't. I mean,
29 in July. He's gonna get probably the biggest contract we've ever seen handed out in baseball-owned sports.
When's he up? Next year?
Yep.
Where's he gonna end up? Does he stay in Anaheim? Does he stay with the Angels? They got to make the playoffs this year to keep him, don't you think?
Like everyone that has an owner that's willing to pay
is saving.
Going to throw checks at him.
No doubt. No doubt.
Everyone is immediately looking at the Yankees, the Mets,
the Dodgers.
The Dodgers have to be feeling really good.
Sure.
And I think a dark horse could be somewhere like Seattle if they wanted to pony up because of Ichiro.
You know who's got no problem spending money? San Diego. Mm-hmm. They spend it like it's nuts. They have no problem at all. All right, when we come back, a little NFL for you. Ryan Tannehill has been the quarterback in Tennessee. And once again, for the 2nd year in a row, his team drafted a quarterback. Why it's deja vu for him and what he has to say about that position and who the quarterback, I believe, will be on opening day in Tennessee. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier. like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
And this is that day every year. If tools are part of your life, if you work with tools in whatever it is, power tools, hand tools, there's going to be a bunch of people out for the 70th anniversary. Frank Supply of 3311 Stanford Drive Northeast. I'll be out there with a bunch of you. It's a big circus out there, a big carnival, and great prices and anniversary specials. Just today on May the 4th. That's right, May the 4th. Purchase a DeWalt rotary hammer. You'll receive a carbide bit set for free. You buy $500 worth of Proto hand tools, you'll receive a Proto backpack for free. Buy a Champion mag drill, you'll receive $25 gift card. Frank Supply is literally giving customers free gift with purchase on many hot sale items. They'll have product demonstrations by over 35 different manufacturers today. So everything's on sale. It's just today. Just today. 70th anniversary celebration of Frank Supply. They'll be doing it from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're family-owned, family-operated. It's your complete source for professional tools and equipment. So come by Frank Supply. Say hello. We'll be set up out there from 11 to 1. Frank Supply is at 3311 Stanford Drive Northeast. That's just north of Candelaria. Or you can call them at 505-884-0000. Looking forward to seeing you out there. This is when I do, I've done this every year for Lord knows how many years now. And I told you this the first time I went out there. It's like, okay, we do a lot of remotes, and sometimes there's not a lot of people that come by. This one, there was like 500 people. I'm like, oh, we don't have enough stuff to give away. So it's a big one. Look forward to seeing you out there. All right, 505-246-0610. I want to get into what Ryan Tannehill had to say about getting another quarterback. But, Travis, you want to talk about New Mexico State, so we'll do that first. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Travis.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How's it going?
Good. What's happening?
Tough press conference yesterday. I think if you look at that press conference and are not deeply moved by just how visibly, observably damaged, I think the stories and the individuals who are at the center of this are, and their telling of the things that they experienced. If that doesn't hit you, man, you're missing a whole lot. And not just because of that press conference, but certainly in light of it, I think it puts in stark contrast or stark relief just how poorly this situation with Mocha's extension and raise is. I mean, I completely agree with you and JJ. Arvizu, before he exited out the door, talked about how there was a cultural problem in athletics that they needed to fix, and he felt that Mocha was the man for the job to fix it, to turn it around, and I mean, they seem to indicate that it was isolated with just the basketball program.
Well, he said that. He flat out said that. He said that their internal, I don't know if it was an investigation, said that he was secure that it was isolated within their men's basketball program.
And there's no consequences for whether or not that's true, right? Like he's out the door. He's gone. He gets to make that statement justifying this extension and this raise, and he's out the door and he's gone. And if what you're saying is we want to give Mocha the time to turn around the basketball program and fix we want to trust the process. We want to let the process play out. Then he had another year left on his deal. Make him earn the extension. If you think he's the man for the job, if you think he's the man to, despite the fact that all of this has happened under his watch, then you don't need to extend him, and you don't need to give him a raise. What are we saying when we're giving raises to people who, under their leadership and supervision, 3 young men were sexually assaulted? Is that raise worthy? Is that what we're giving raises for these days? Because if so, I've been going about my life all the wrong way. I tend to live my life sexual assault free, but apparently what you need in college athletics to get ahead is to have this happening in your program.
I'm going to advise against changing your mantra. I would advise saying sexual assault free. That's my advice to you.
100%. And I'll just say finally, look, we, a lot of us here listening to this program have had the opportunity to, supervise a team, and have had either interns or other staff working underneath us. Jeff, you and JJ certainly have had those experiences. Obviously, Jeff, with the New Mexico Bowl, you supervise a large, talented staff, in the work of getting that put together. And as a leader, that you are responsible for every single thing that happens under your leadership, from the people that work for you and the work that you give them. You can't hand in some project or some piece of work that somebody you supervise has done and hand it in, and when it's crap, say, well, listen, it's not on me. It's on the person who did the project. You're the supervisor. You're the leader. It happened under your watch, and you're responsible for it. When your team screws up, those are your screw-ups too. You own them because you're the supervisor. And even if you didn't screw up the project yourself or make the mistakes yourself, it can still cost you your job. You still may have to get fired. You still may have to resign because something really, really freaking bad happened under your watch.
Thank you, Travis. No, I appreciate it.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
All right, so a couple things there. So it could cost you your job, and I think the issue here is should it, right? And that's there. I don't know that Mario's run from saying it didn't happen under my watch. I've been at events where he said like I'm an alum and I take this personally, and we're going to fix this, and that I'm going to lead this, and we're going to fix it. I don't know that he's ever once said it didn't happen. That I don't. I mean, I don't know that he ever said it didn't happen under my watch. I think, he knows that. Now, with investigations going on, you got to be really careful what you say when you're in his situation. I understand that. But JJ, this goes back to what did he know, what didn't he know, and every report we've seen, there's not been one implication. Even the civil lawsuit,
he wasn't named.
He was not named in that, guys. So this isn't as cut and dry as everybody wants it to be.
But to me, there's no spinning it. The dude did him a favor on his way out.
Of course, right.
And that's why I think people are going to hold up.
Like the timing, the optics of the chancellor on his last day signing an extension and raise. Right. I mean, that's
like without letting this process continue to play out.
Yeah. I think that's what's got so many people stunned. I think was shocked was it Deuce Benjamin who said that, or was it Shaq's dad, or somebody said that in that story yesterday when they saw that Mario got that extension, that raise. Like what if he had done it a week before? Would that have been any different? No. Probably not.
No.
But the fact that it was on the last day and the last hours, it's like, whoa, right? I understand the optics of that. I understand where people are going. I know how that feels. But to Travis's comments, that when something happens and you're the leader, you're right. You're responsible for the good and the bad. You are. And it could cost you your job, is what he said. And I think there's a difference between could and should. And that's what they're trying to figure out here. Now, what they're saying is, and what Chancellor Arvizu said on his way out was, it should not. That's what he determined, right? He determined it should not cost Mario his job. In fact, Mario should be able to be the guy to clean it up.
He shouldn't have been able to make that decision at that point in time.
But he did, right? And that's where we are now. But Travis was pretty emotional about that. All right, you can continue on this. I know I promised you the Ryan Tannehill Titans talk. We'll do that in the next segment when we return. And what kind of a whole process with what the Titans did with quarterback, where they're going, why it's deja vu, and I'll tell you. I mean, who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans, and who should it be? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
May the 4th be with you. May the 4th today, El 4 de Mayo, is International Firefighters Day, and all firefighters can get a free sub at any of the 5 Albuquerque Firehouse Subs locations in Albuquerque, and there's one in Santa Fe. Today is also the grand opening, JJ, of the Firehouse Subs new location on Paseo del Norte, just east of I-25, right there in front of Lowe's. Big day, El 4 de Mayo.
And I'm already hungry.
Are you?
Yes.
They might bring food tomorrow, and it sounds like you're going to be here tomorrow.
Yes.
Hey, Marie, I didn't even come by and say hey. Like she got called up to the big leagues. She's on the Bob Clark show. She's like not even hey, what's up? Not even like a wave across the whole nothing.
Having done that show, I cannot blame her. It's
way more fun than ours.
Not fun, intense.
Is it
Yeah.
way more intense than ours?
Yeah.
Why? What makes it so?
Lot more moving parts to it.
What's so? I mean, it's like. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind. We don't have to get into technicalities. All right. The opening drive's here for you today. Gato Roberto's in for A. Marie. Jeff and JJ, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Big news, college basketball. Hunter Dickinson, probably one of the biggest names in the portal, going from Michigan to Kansas, huh? It's a big deal.
It's huge. The best transfer forward center available is going to Kansas.
Yeah. All right. Draft day. Draft days were last week in the NFL. Evidently, JJ, the Tennessee Titans at number 3 were ready to take CJ Stroud. There was a whole lot of talk that Houston was going to pass on a quarterback, go defensive line, and I think people probably knew Bryce Young was going number 1 overall, and Tennessee was sitting at 3, and they were ready to take him. And then Houston,
they were going to trade to 3.
They were going to trade up to 3, and then Houston took CJ Stroud at 2, traded back to 3, and then they got both. And so the Titans instead ended up with Will Levis on day 2 in the second round. And this is the second year in a row they've drafted a quarterback outside of the first round, actually. Ryan Tannehill's their quarterback. He's 34 years old. He had a okay season, right? 2,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He played 12 games. But he's got a $36 million cap hit this year. There's 2 voidable years on his contract. He said, yep, been down this road before, so it's definitely a bit of deja vu. My job is to get ready to win football games. That's what I'm going to do. As players, you don't control what you can control, and that's the best you can do, blah, blah, blah. Who will be the quarterback to open the season for the Tennessee Titans, and who should it be?
I believe Ryan Tannehill will start, and then we will see a transition to Will Levis.
You believe that they're going to hold on to that salary and keep him around? I think Will Levis is going to be the guy, and I think he should be the guy.
And if Will Levis is the dude, then to your point, and I think they just cut bait with Tannehill to eat that money this year because they'll have 2 quarterbacks on rookie deals that are in second and the third round.
Malik Willis being the other one. See, I think that, and I like Ryan Tannehill. I think he was really good for that franchise. He got them to the AFC Championship. He resurrected his career. I think he's probably got a few more years left. If you tell me Andy Dalton can bounce around and you tell me some of these other guys bounce around, I look around the league and I said, okay, there's room for Ryan Tannehill. Now, is there room for him to be a starting quarterback? Like, where do I think right now he could go and be a starting quarterback? I don't know that I see a lot of room. Right? You could tell me he could battle in Vegas with Jimmy Garoppolo. Tampa Bay still needs a starting quarterback, right? That might be a spot for him. I don't see a lot of other spots. Do you? Washington, maybe. Right? They've made their choice. They made it pretty clear. If they were going to go get C.J. Stroud, Tennessee, and then, in fact, they did go get Will Levis, they've made their decision, man. It's time to move. And they're not winning the AFC this year. They're not. Do you see a situation where they are better than, I'm talking about the Tennessee Titans. No. Now, you can tell me they can contend in their division, but okay. You see a situation where they're better than Jacksonville, Kansas City, the Chargers, the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Ravens. Do you see that? The Bengals? So this is the time. Invest, reload, give this young man all the time. And I guess you got to look at him in OTAs, but you scouted him. You know what he's all about. If the toe isn't an issue, and if in fact he's got to have surgery on the toe, then I say revisit this and probably hold on to Ryan Tannehill and go your route. Mm-hmm. But if he's healthy, let's go. Let's rebuild this thing.
No, and I'm fine with that. And there's really not a track record of, well, if you start a guy early, you're going to break him. That's more on the franchise. It's what are you going to be able to do in the corresponding years? It was because you could look at Zach Wilson and say, well, is Zach Wilson's story any different from starting early versus when he goes in? And I think we have a legit possibility that we'll see 4 rookie quarterbacks starting games next year because it's for sure C.J. Stroud. In Houston, Anthony Richardson,
Bryce Young. Well, how many rookies started games last year? You gave me a big number, didn't you?
But like day one starters.
Yeah, but overall, right? I mean, the Dolphins had Skylar Thompson start games last year. There were rookies all over the place, weren't there? Starting games last year because of all the injuries. So, all right, this one's interesting to me. Seattle considered drafting Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson ended up going number 4 overall, quarterback, to Indianapolis. So Pete Carroll was asked flat out, did you consider him? And he said, quote, we did consider him. We flew him all the way. He said, shoot, we flew him all the way out here just to see him from Florida to Seattle. Not just to see him, but to be around him, to watch him, how he handled himself and his program with all the hype that was going. We gave him tremendous consideration. He might be the best athlete that's ever been drafted at that position, end quote. Pete Carroll's seen a few. Pete Carroll's coached a few. That's the word on Anthony Richardson. He might be the best athlete ever been drafted at quarterback. Now, we'll see, man. There's been some really good athletes. Some good ones in the league right now. Lamar's pretty good, isn't he?
Lamar can run in a straight line really fast. He's got the wiggle.
He's got some wiggle.
Anthony Richardson can jump higher than him. He's bigger than him. Is stronger than him. It's just a little bit slower in a straight line. So it's not crazy. Okay. But now the thing is, it's not about just being an athlete. It's about, can you harness that? And that is what was so intriguing about Anthony Richardson. It's because he has all that talent, and now can you mold it into someone that is Josh Allen 2.0? Because that's the comp. That's the dude come out of Wyoming that could throw a football over the mountains, but struggled to complete passes at a high percentage.
How raw is Anthony Richardson? Because I watched him early in the season when they beat Utah, and I'm like, holy! Like I was all in when that first game of the year, and they started out really well, and then he kind of came back to earth. And I watched a few games mid-season. I'm like, all right, he's good. And I thought, wow, he's a really good athlete. Is he that good of a quarterback? That's up to them, right? I have no idea how coachable he is. How do you harness that? How do you turn him into, as you say, Josh Allen 2.0? Josh Allen came in, and why he slipped, what was he, like 7th overall when the Bills took him? Big arm, big dude, can run, but his completion percentage was so low, and can we coach that? Obviously they could, right? He's considered a top 3 guy in the NFL right now. He starts opening day, doesn't he, Anthony Richardson?
Yes.
What's your option up there?
Gardner Minshew.
Okay. He's got to start opening day.
I think with some of these that we could see the 6 to 8 games of veteran dude and then slide him in if they just don't feel comfortable with everything that's needed. Just play calling. All the little things that are huge things for quarterbacks.
All right, can I give you one more quarterback piece before we go, since we're in the NFL? Kirk Cousins. How much longer does he have? Can we talk about Minnesota when Neymar is not here? Are we allowed to contractually? Yes. Quote, I want to be in Minnesota, end quote. Well, sure. He would be eligible for free agency after this year. Now, I don't know if they want him long-term. I don't know if the price tag is worth it, but he continued. It's kind of a no-brainer. Hopefully we can earn the right to do that, end quote. So he's in the final year of a series of contracts that have paid him $155 million since he signed in 2018. Career low 49.9 total quarterback rating last year, but he had 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. They were 13-4. They were the number 1 seed in the number 2 seed in the NFC, and then they lose in the first round to the Giants. For Kirk Cousins to earn, do they have to get to the NFC Championship game for him to earn his way back this year? It kind of feels like they do. There's quarterbacks in the draft. I believe them to have draft capital, right? How long are they going to keep?
I don't think it. To me, whether it's easier if you go out early, but this is kind of Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. It's like we're okay with you here, but it just gets to a point where you probably got to move on.
Okay. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we return, a pitcher in the big leagues celebrated yesterday for striking out what he said, that cheater. JJ, they will never forget. Do that when we come back. But I got to tell you about Frank Supply again. Look, I'm telling you a lot about it because I'm going to be out there today. And I'm going to be out there from 11 to 1. I'm going to see so many of you. This is one of the biggest remotes I do every year, the on-site deal. It's their Customer Appreciation Day, and it is their 70th anniversary at Frank Supply. This is your spot. Family-owned and operated. And if tools are part of what you do every day, if you... I know I said this earlier. You work with tools, and everybody's like, yeah, I work with a bunch of them. Oh, no. Like actual tools. Get out today and take advantage of what Frank Supply is doing. This is a one-day only anniversary special. So let me give you a few examples. You purchase a DeWalt rotary hammer, you get a carbide set free. You spend $500 in Proto hand tools, you receive a Proto backpack free. You buy a Champion mag drill, you receive a $25 gift card. So Frank Supply is giving customers free gifts with purchase on many hot sale items. There's going to be product demonstrations by over 35 manufacturers out there. Look, everything's on sale for one day, and it's just today. This Thursday, May the 4th. 70th anniversary celebration from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come out. It's a big party out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Stop by the Sports Animal booth. Say hello. 3311 Stanford Drive, Northeast. So 3311, it's about a block and a half north of Candelaria on Stanford. You can phone them at 505-884-0000. That's 505-884-0000.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting Discover Western Sky.
Well, they may never forget. You know, memories last a long time. And there's an old song, time heals, time forgets. You shouldn't smoke them daggum cigarettes, but I mean, that's how I'm not going to sing the whole song. A guy named Keenan Middleton will never forget. I don't know if you remember or know who Keenan Middleton is. But it's been more than 3 years since Major League Baseball had that report on an electronic sign stealing scheme by the Astros. You heard all about it, the Houston Astros. Keenan Middleton was around then. He played in the American League West for his first 5 years in the majors. He's now playing for the Chicago White Sox. So when Keenan Middleton of the White Sox, you know who else is on that White Sox staff, by the way? Joe Kelly. Pouty face Joe Kelly. Remember from the Dodgers when he struck out, he threw behind Alex Bregman's head, threw behind Jose Altuve's head. So Keenan Middleton struck out Carlos Correa yesterday. Carlos Correa is now playing for the Minnesota Twins. Of course, he was on that Astros team. So he struck out Carlos Correa with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball Wednesday night. It finished out the game. It was the final pitch of a 6-4 victory. White Sox beat the Twins, and he was pretty fired up about it. And he was asked after the game about it. It was his first save, by the way, since 2021. And he relished that last swing by Carlos Correa, who played for the Astros back during that time. Quote from Middleton: "I knew I was going to face Correa, and I don't like him. So it was kind of cool. I like that. I enjoyed that a lot. I mean, he's a cheater," end quote. It's never going away, is it?
It's not. And if you're in the game at the time, you're on the field with those guys, everyone needs a little something. And for some people, they will latch on to a story that many people think moved on from, but they never will.
So Gato Roberto's in for A. Marie. I told this story to JJ. So I was in Houston Final Four weekend, and I went to the Astros game on Saturday, and I was sitting there, and the White Sox made a pitching change, and the whole place started booing. What am I missing? And I mean, it was not just one of those it was a loud, voluminous, vociferous, deep boo, like everybody. Like I hate that MFer who's coming in right now, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, what am I missing? I didn't even understand it. Jay, I told you this, right?
Yes.
And the PA says, now pitching for the Chicago White Sox, number 17, Joe Kelly. And I'm like, oh. So Joe Kelly was on the Dodgers.
Yes.
The Astros beat the Dodgers in that World Series. Joe Kelly was very vocal about his disdain, felt that they stole his ring.
Yeah.
And the next year when the Dodgers played the Astros, Joe Kelly threw behind both Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve and walked off the field. And there's a famous meme. And he just kind of, the lower lip out, kind of, everybody was yelling and screaming at him. And he just kind of stopped and looked over at their dugout and gave him the pouty face. So, and so Astro fans don't forget either, dude.
No.
Like this will, until all these players are out of the league, and we're talking another 15 years, right? 12, 15 years, right? Yeah, Alex Bregman's got a long career in front of him.
Because Houston's like, bleep you guys, and everyone else is like, no, like, bleep you.
And they're like, we came back and won one 2 years later, and so that validates everything. And there's players who will never get past it. But how about that, man? I mean, in the middle of, what is it, early May, 4 years later, and this dude who you have never heard of, Keenan Middleton. I hadn't. Did you know who Keenan Middleton is?
I didn't.
Yeah, and you know everybody.
Woo, that was over my head.
Yeah, I didn't even know. And this dude,
I saw headline Middleton. I'm like, oh, what's going on with Chris Middleton in the Bucks?
I thought. 100% what I thought.
I mean, Sergio again, what's up?
And so I opened it up and I'm like, wait a minute, who's this dude?
Why is there a White Sox pitcher here?
Seriously, what I did.
I think there are fans that will be not forgetting about this 30 years from now.
Well, I think fans will always remember it.
Yeah.
Right? But whenever there's a player who was involved.
Yeah. Look what happened, what was it, in the 20s, the Chicago White Sox?
The Black Sox game.
Yeah, the Black Sox game.
Yeah.
There's people that still bring that up, like I just did.
Like you just did. Shoeless Joe never got in the Hall of Fame. And here we are, a century plus later. Yeah. It's
but he did get in the Field of Dreams, the movie.
Yeah, way better than that. Yeah, way better than the Hall of Fame. Way better than that. And I got a bunch of texts that are coming in, and your thoughts on what's going on at New Mexico State, including this one. This is my favorite one. Look, this is all really no biggie, okay? It's just the enemy Albuquerque media sensationalizing this whole thing all as well. Okay, that's right. I know there's a big that's a big point of contention or big belief. I don't know, man. Is the Albuquerque media sensationalizing having Deuce Benjamin and Shaq Adenewu out there yesterday? Was that all a fabrication? Was that just the media making that up? Well, you guys put it on. Okay. Those were guys who were wearing your uniform. I mean, I don't know. How'd you feel when you saw that? All right, when we come back, Special Assistant of Baseball Operations for the Colorado Rockies, Scott Oberg, is going to be with us. Fascinating record, and he's in town, right? Looking at some ball players, right? Representing the club?
Apparently.
What?
Find out what he's up to.
That's next. It's the Opening Drive at 95.9 FM. At AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust. and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Ball.
J-Ball today, 11 o'clock, first pitch out at Ice Dubs Park. Coming off a 22-4 victory over Sugarland last night. Ice Dubs and Sugarland go again today. That means they'll get like what we lose two. You lose the game 2-1 today. When you score 22 runs one day, you get like
rollover runs.
Can I bank a few of those? Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We'll get back to your phone calls in a little bit. But I'm really been looking forward to this. Earlier this year, it was back in January. Scott Oberg, who was a pitcher for the Rockies, took to Instagram and announced his retirement. He said this was a quote, "I've accepted a part-time position with the Rockies and will no longer be pursuing the game I've loved my whole life as a player. Unfortunately, the numerous blood clots I suffered over the course of my career has made playing untenable," end quote. He's in town. He is a special assistant to baseball operations for the Rockies. He was the winning pitcher for the Rockies back in the wild card game against the Cubs in 2018. And he joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Scott Oberg is our guest. Good morning, Scott. How you living?
Good morning, guys. How are we doing today? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you getting up early. I know baseball dudes don't like early, man. Baseball. This show's a tough one for baseball guys, so we appreciate it. But with a day game, I guess you're up. Is that right? How it works by your experience? You get 22 runs one day, and you're scuffling to try and find one the next day.
Well, yeah. I mean, who knows? Baseball's a crazy game, and anytime you're playing baseball at altitude, 22 runs is always a possibility. I don't know if that's in the tank today, but, we're definitely hoping for another Isotopes win.
Yeah, no, a good one last night, and good to see the bat. So special assistant to baseball operations. I always wonder what titles mean and what do they mean when, what do you do every day? How you liken the transformation to the front office, and what has it been for you, Scott?
Yeah, I think sometimes titles are just that, right? They're titles.
Yeah.
For me, it's a chance to stay in the game. It's a chance to help future Rockies pitchers. It's a chance to see the game from a different lens, different perspective on things. Get to be around the coaches, around the front office people a little bit more. Maybe ask some questions that, as a player, you maybe be careful about what you ask here. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot every now and again, but now I kind of have that freedom to ask maybe a little bit more different style of questions. And for me personally, just being back on the field with guys, knowing that I've gone through the same path as a lot of these guys, especially on the minor league side, trying to help cut that learning curve for guys along the way and try to be the best versions of themselves. And that's personally for me, that's what I'm kind of taking this role on and trying to do everything I can.
Your path might be familiar but yours is different. How are you feeling physically? I mean, with what you went through, and we'll get into it a little bit as much as you want to, but I don't know if people know the full story. I mean, you were 6-1, had a 2.25 ERA, you're rolling, and you get put down on the 60-day injured list and had blood clots. And I mean, more than anything else, how are you feeling on an everyday basis?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm feeling pretty good for the most part. For whatever reason, it just seemed to be my issues would stem from pitching, from throwing a baseball, throwing hard. I don't know. It's something that still kind of, bugs me in the back of my mind as to why this happened, how did it happen. Never really got that clear, definitive answer that I was really looking for, but, sometimes that's life, right? And we got to accept it and kind of move on. But for the most part, every day I'm in a good place right now. So.
Now, Scott, how were you able to handle that? Was it a tough one? Because, as you said, you're going through a situation that, the players have had Tommy John surgery, players dealing with shoulder injuries, but, not having really anyone to bounce off of. Did you just have to lean on your family? What really helped you get through the last few years to where you ultimately had to make the decision that you weren't going to be able to play baseball?
Yeah, I had talked to a few guys that had run into some quad issues in the past. Unfortunately, like you said, there's plenty of guys in that Tommy John fraternity. There's plenty of guys that have gone through shoulder type surgeries or what have you. And I kind of ended up finding my, a room of my own. It's like a party of one, basically, with how many times I've gone through it. And I was leaning more on my wife, leaning more on my family, leaning more on the training staff and the people that were immediately around me in my circle, the doctors, things like that. It's still not something that I'm totally over. It's still something that, I'm still dealing with it a little bit here and there. I'm sitting in the dugout watching the games the last couple of nights, and, I'd give anything to be back out there. But for the most part, we're doing pretty well. I think that this transition into a coaching front office type situation, type role, certainly helping with that, keeping me involved and being able to, just help guys with some of the things that I know about the game.
And Scott, what does it mean to you that the Rockies reached out to you with this opportunity? Because you've spent the last few years trying to battle back from this and figure it out. But then when it's all said and done, they were still there saying, hey, we have a place for you within our organization.
Yeah, that means the world to me. I don't know how many – I've only been with one organization, so it's hard for me to say that this happens a lot. Some of the coaches have come to me and just said, hey, take advantage of this opportunity that's in front of you. So I'm trying to understand that side of it a little bit, but more than anything else, just super grateful that throughout everything that I've gone through as a professional, the Rockies have always been there, had my back, given me opportunities. And so to me, it's just another opportunity that I'm trying to take advantage of.
Scott Oberg is with us. He's special assistant of baseball operations for the Rockies, former Rocky pitcher. And listening to your story, and I've heard it before, but I've never heard you talk about it. When you said, that's life, you have to accept it and move on. And JJ just said, with the Rockies kind of offering you this position, I'm wondering, it almost sounds like they really, really helped you from an emotional level because it got you moving, but you're at the ballpark every day. And I'm sure you've thought of this. Would it have been better for you emotionally just to completely cut ties and get away from the game? Because like you said, you're sitting in the dugout every day and you got to be thinking, man, I could be out there. I want to be out there. You're still working through this every single day, aren't you?
I am. I think mentally I could be out there, right? But I know from a physical standpoint with where I'm at body wise, and I haven't thrown a baseball in a couple of years and things like that. It's the same thing that we're preaching to our guys, especially at the AAA level in Albuquerque here. You got to be where your feet are sometimes, or every day, every team, all the time. And that has to go for me too. I can't be sitting in the dugout reliving old memories or thinking about getting upset because I should be out there or this, that, and the other thing. Now it's going to take away from what I'm trying to do and help these guys out.
Well, I think, Scott, it's almost got to help like people who, whatever happens, every one of us has had something happen, right, at a different level.
Sure.
And I think one of the biggest hurdles is getting over the why me, right? And it's hard, right? You get lost in yourself sometimes. And sure. You've got to probably still sometimes, why me? Who the hell else had to go through this?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course those thoughts are gonna come through, and I don't know. I've had that in certain injuries, or I've had that at times where I haven't pitched well at the big league level and been sent out, and as much as I love Albuquerque as a city, as a player, you don't necessarily want to be here because that's ultimately not where you want to be at. And it's the same thing with this. I kind of had a little bit of practice in adversity in college and coming up through the minor leagues a little bit and then kind of getting sent back and forth. So, not to say that this is any different, but I felt like it was almost something that I'd been prepared to at least handle a little bit.
That's good.
Sometimes I just feel like as much as it would be of a benefit to be at home and escape from the field and the game, sometimes I almost need to just look at it dead in the eye and just try to come to terms with it.
Just a few more minutes.
So
Scott,
the Rockies have been great with basically allowing me to do whatever I need to do and giving me the space to, whether it be at home, be on the road, be with the club, be with the minor league guys, go scout. They're pretty much like, hey, do what you need to do.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Just a few more minutes. Scott Oberg's with us, special assistant of baseball operations for the Rockies and one of their former pitchers.
Well, Albuquerque was a place for you, Scott, when you were pitching for the Isotopes that you were able to learn and you were able to take huge steps forward. And I'm referencing Glenn Allen Hill and some of the stuff that he helped you with. I want to know, do you still have that grimy home plate with black tape on the edges to paint it black and danger zone in the middle, not to throw it there? Do you still have that? And is that a tool you use now?
Of course I still have that plate. That's to me, that turned my career around. It may be a little hyperbolic, but I'm like, hey, that saved my baseball life. I can't thank Glenn Allen Hill enough for pulling me in the office and telling me straight up, being like, hey, if you don't execute this pitch, you're not going to be here very long. You have to figure out how to do this. Maybe go out and get yourself a plate. And I went to the local Albuquerque Dick's Sporting Goods. I remember the day I was putting it together in the bullpen, and then next 6 weeks, figured it out, went to work, and this place will always have like a really special place in my heart because of that.
That's a really, really cool story. All right, last, let's get out on a fun note. Not fun for me.
About UConn beating.
Yeah. I'm a San Diego State alum, so not as fun, although being there was great. I mean, UConn wins a national championship. You're a UConn guy. Maybe you're used to it. Like maybe it's happened so many times in your lifetime. Like this was just another ho-hum. But congratulations on your alma mater winning the national championship and cutting down the nets.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's funny. When I was there, they won in 2011. That was when Kemba Walker was there.
I remember that one too.
He had that great run in the Big East tournament leading up to that year. And then when they won it again in 13, that 11 team, we felt like, hey, that was, we got something special going on here. When they won it, I think it was in 13, they just seemed to come out of nowhere. And this team in particular, this season's team, it looked like they had the depth. It kind of reminded me of their 04 roster, where you could just see the depth everywhere. They were big. They were physical. They could they could shoot the ball from outside. They could just do a lot of damage to you. And even when they go to their bench guys, they're not really losing a whole lot. So it kind of felt like, hey, this is going to be a really, really good team, and we got a good chance of winning this, rather than, hey, we got in as a 17 and got hot at the right time. And, look at these guys. Hey, this is a great run. Good for us.
I was at that Kemba Walker game too, back when, what would you tell me, 13, when they beat San Diego State in the Sweet 16 round. That was
2011.
Yeah, 2011. Every time the Aztecs have a good run, they run into UConn. Maybe there's got to be another route. Although at least they ran into them at the end of the road. Hey, be well. First and foremost, just be well. Feel well, be well, and enjoy this new role. I know you will. And let's stay in touch. Like when you come to town, can we make a point of just continuing this? Because I want to continue to tell your story. I think your story of perseverance is inspiring. Everybody's gone through something, right? Everybody's had something that's kind of diverted their path. And watching you have the attitude that you have, and obviously, and you admit this, you're still going through it. I'd like to stay in touch and continue to tell your story, Scott, if that's cool.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. The people, I've been very fortunate that the people around me, and between you guys, people in Denver, people back home, they've been very extremely supportive of everything that I've gone through. So thank you, guys. I appreciate everything. And, yeah, I would love to stay in touch every time I come into town.
Right on.
I'll let the Isotopes know, and we'll get it squared away.
Let's do that. Enjoy your stay. Feel well, and we'll catch up soon. Take care of you.
Thank you, guys.
He is Scott Oberg, Special Assistant of Baseball Operations for the Rockies. And his story, look, everybody goes through stuff, but just you could hear it, right? I mean, he's still kind of fighting his way through. And I got a ton of thoughts. And JJ, when you brought up the grimy plate, I want to what one little thing can mean to a guy's career. That's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Jim Rome.
Aaron Rodgers is.
There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque.
The Sports Animal.
All right, so that story, and I don't know if you got the whole gist of it. I want to give it to you because listening to him, it's guys everybody goes through everything. So in 2019, Scott Oberg was just with us, and here's a guy that was the winning pitcher in the National League wild card victory for the Rockies over the Cubs. He's rolling now. He's made it to the big leagues. The former Isotope, he's made it. He's a young pitcher. Glenn Allen Hill, the former manager, you heard him tell that story about the prop, right? He couldn't literally. Sometimes you have to visualize it. And this is where good leaders, coaches, managers, whatever it is, find ways to get guys in different ways. You've all in your life had a mentor, a coach, somebody who's given you a different cue. You've been struggling with something, and you just had to visualize it in a different way. And basically, Glenn Allen Hill showed him a plate, and he had tape on the corners of the plate, the size of a baseball, the width of a baseball, right? And basically said, this, you have to pitch there. You throw the ball down the middle of the plate, as it was written on this plate, danger zone, do not throw here. And he said he went to Dick's Sporting Goods and got himself a plate and taped it up, and that he said, you heard him, it changed my career. And so here he is in 2019, and he gets to the big leagues, and he's sticking now. He's with the Rockies. He's 6-1. He's got a 2.25 ERA. He's got 5 saves, 58 strikeouts in 56 innings. He is rolling. He's made it. And then in August of 2019, the Rockies put him on the 60-day injured list because he had blood clots in his arm. It ended his season. He started the 2020 season on the injured list, placed on the 45-day injured list with blood clots in his arm. Shut down the whole next season, the whole 2020 season, didn't make an appearance. March 26th of 2021, he underwent surgery to treat blood clots in his pitching elbow. The third surgery Oberg had was to treat blood clots on March 27th, placed on the 60-day injured list. And he was in jeopardy of undergoing surgery again. And then this year, he shut it down. Doesn't know why. Why me? I mean, like blood clots. You don't think of, there's so much stuff out there. And you could listen to Scott Oberg and Bob, that's why I started the conversation with him. You read a biography or you hear about a guy's story or whatever. There's a human being behind it. There's been a lot of that today. But that's why I asked him, dude, never mind all that. How you feeling? Like physically, how you feeling every day, right?
And mentally.
Well, physically and mentally, right?
Yeah.
So we got he really got into the mental part, the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
And you could hear him still talking his way through it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You could hear it. But what I was thinking was, baseball, you go from the minors up to the majors because the organization thinks you can do that. And the Rockies are an organization. They see potential in him in his new role. So
I think that's right. I mean, obviously, and I think that's also,
and that's because he's talking his way through it. He's dealing with it. He's
Well-
internalizing. He'll be able to bring something to another player that no one else can.
I think that's 100% right. The experience, and it might not be a guy going through blood clots, but it'll be going through whatever it is, an injury situation or a whatever, right?
Right.
And yes, I think that's right. And here's the other piece of it. I really like that the Rockies are taking care of one of their own. And I don't know if, this is why I asked him this. Is it better to be at the ballpark and you're there every day reminded of it? But yet, so you're staying in it, it's keeping you mentally healthy. Or would it be better just to go sell insurance or be a financial guy or working, whatever, do something and just completely get away from the game? And I don't know the answer, only he does, and maybe he doesn't even know the answer. But that's why I asked him that, right? Was you're there every day, does it re-trigger? Would you be better, safer, away from it? And obviously he's made this decision. This is the way he's getting through it.
And it's still so early in the process.
Yes.
He retired in January of this year.
Yes.
And he spent the last 3 seasons trying to figure out if he's going to be able to pitch again. Working through the blood clots, going through the procedures. And for him, I think he's still figuring that out. Like, is this going to be best for me moving forward? He's 33.
I know.
And every player has to deal with this. At some point, their career ends on the field.
And you're young.
And it's a lot harder, too, when...
But this situation is much worse.
Well, this didn't end because he had a long career and he just,
Right.
I mean, Father Time caught him. This ended because, like I said to him, there's got to be, why me?
And I think, too, for him, I'm glad that he got to experience being at his best, but it's probably that much harder to wrap your mind around it is because when he got hurt, he was one of the Rockies' best relievers.
He was 6-1 with a 2.25.
That doesn't happen.
I know, not there
all that often at Coors Field.
Yeah, not there. I that's why and his willingness to talk about it. I think, Bob just made a great point. I think he's going to be able to help another young player along the way, and maybe many more, if he stays in this role. And I applaud the organization for taking care of one of their own, right?
Yes.
They invested him as a player. It didn't work.
But they see potential in his new role.
Yeah, I applaud them for that. I just, man, oh, man. But he did perk up, man, when he was talking about the Huskies, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He did get pretty fired up talking about winning another national championship and beating San Diego State. See? That was pretty good for him. All right, we're going to talk more baseball. I still scored 22 runs last night. How many they got left in him tonight? Oh, I'm sorry, this afternoon. Day ball today. Josh Sushan is the voice of the Isotopes. He'll join us live from the ballpark.
And his Warriors bounce back.
Can his Warriors bounce back? We'll talk to him about that. That's fair. Here, sweet deal tomorrow's Firehouse subs. So you'll log on to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, and get $50 in Firehouse subs. Gift certificates for $25, but today is International Firefighters Day, and all firefighters can get a free sub today at the 5 Albuquerque locations and the one in Santa Fe. And today is the grand opening of Firehouse Subs' new location on Paseo del Norte, just east of I-25 in front of Lowe's.
Jim Rome. The long national nightmare in the nation's capital was...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sports Animal.
Who doesn't like a little day ball at 74 degrees? I mean, I'm just asking. I got lunch for you today. Well, I don't got lunch for you today, but I got the idea for lunch for you today. It's pretty easy, right? Yourself out to the ball yard. 11 o'clock start. I mean, let me give you the hourly by this. I mean, when it'll be, oh, look at this, JJ. I mean, 65 when they start, it's perfect. Then it's like 72, 75. They scored 22 runs last night. What's up? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Let's go out to the ball. Take me out to the ball. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Bob, will you buy me some peanuts and cracker? I don't care if I ever get back. Josh Sushan is the voice of the Isotopes, coming off a 22-4 win yesterday. Hello, Josh. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I am excellent. I enjoyed your conversation about Shohei Ohtani as I was driving to the
Are we
ballpark.
wrong? If he doesn't play another game, would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
I think so. Let me add this about Babe Ruth too. For whenever we talk about Babe Ruth, he spent 2 years doing both. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, it was only 2 years. Because, wow, 2 years. But still, when you look at his baseball reference page, he was a pitcher who occasionally hit, and then the Red Sox sold him to the Yankees, and the Yankees saw what he did for 2 years doing both, and they said, no, you're not going to pitch anymore. He barely pitched for the Yankees at all. So Shohei Ohtani, right, he was the rookie of the year, he did both, and then for 2 years, he couldn't pitch because he was hurt, and his hitting was not good at all. And now this is 3 straight years where he has been phenomenal at both. Babe Ruth did both for 2 years. All of these numbers that
Which is
Ruth
pretty amazing.
accumulated.
It's pretty amazing in its own right.
Yeah, it was like 2 different careers, right?
Yeah.
He could be a Hall of Famer for what he did just as a pitcher, and then when he's transitioned to outfielder, he could be a Hall of Famer just for that. But I hope that doesn't get lost. It's like, we haven't seen this since Babe Ruth. Well, Babe Ruth only did this for 2 years.
That's amazing. It's the guy in Little League. And it's sustainable now because he's done it for 4.5 years. This is what you had a guy on your team. Maybe you were him, a guy on your team. We all watched a guy in Little League do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pitch every other game or every third game, and was the shortstop and was hitting 673 and hitting balls out of the yard. But that can't be done in the big leagues. Dude's kind of that guy, the Little League stud, and he's doing it in the big leagues at an unbelievable clip.
Yeah, we've had some guys over the years, including this year, who did both in college. Third baseman Aaron Schunke had a grand slam last night, 5 RBIs. When he was in college, he was the closer at the University of Georgia. And I was asking him a couple of weeks ago about which one was harder. And he said it was definitely pitching because you have to just be so fine and precise with your location. And so, again, he was the closer. And so throughout the week, they basically said, don't worry about making too many throws at third base. Save your bullets for the weekend. And he said because he would just go to the mound and trust whatever the pitching coach told him to throw, and he didn't really have to think and set up hitters and go through a lineup multiple times. It was just come in and just attack and just try to end this game. But even that was incredibly difficult, and he could not fathom trying to do both in the minor leagues, let alone in the major leagues at an MVP level.
Do you think we see more of this now? Now that Ohtani's done it at what seems to be a sustainable pace, because I've always wondered why can't pitchers hit, man? They've always used to be able. You've heard, we've had this conversation. Do you think, I'm not telling you we're going to have a run on this, but do we see a few more guys get an opportunity to do this now?
I initially thought that we would, and there was some guys who were trying it, and some kind of did it. The problem is, guys, that once you have one of those 2 skills that is good enough to get to the big leagues, they bring you to the big leagues to do that skill, and both of those skills don't develop at the same time. So the idea that, we need to develop him as a pitcher, but we're going to take him to the big leagues because he's ready as a hitter. Oh, but he needs more time to develop as a pitcher. Well, we can't wait around because he can help us win games right now, or vice versa. It was really like the perfect storm of Shohei Ohtani. Both of those skills came together when he was in Japan, and so he had both of those skills when he came over here. Basically, we let another country develop him that way, and then even when he came here, again, there was 2 years in which he had Tommy John surgery. He didn't pitch, and there was so much chatter that you can't do both. Just let him focus on one thing. I don't think we're going to see it because it's so rare for both of those skills to develop simultaneously.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's going to be a patience now that we've seen somebody do it. If there's that guy, look, I know it's going to be rare, but will American baseball, whatever that means, right? The system allow someone maybe a little bit more leeway to continue to try to develop both skills.
There's this guy named Paul Skeens. He was at Air Force. I do a bunch of college baseball, and so I saw him for 2 years at Air Force. Now he's at LSU, and during those 2 years at Air Force, his hitting was ahead of his pitching. You could see how raw he was as a pitcher. He transfers to LSU, and LSU is like, no, dude, you're just going to pitch. We're just going to focus on pitching. He might be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And I don't think that whatever team is going to take him is going to have him hit that much because he throws 99 and he can help them as a starter. But again, he's the prototype of someone who maybe could do it, but because he got so good at one skill, he's not going to get the chance to do the other skill.
How much do you think the DH being an overall factor could maybe allow one of those guys to do it?
Yeah, that does make it possible. That gives you a little bit more leeway where, but again, the hardest part is that, to me, the hitting part, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to pitch. I'm trying to think about which one is the harder skill.
Well,
I just feel like from a timing standpoint, it has to be hitting, in order to get like enough at-bats to actually deserve to be one of the top 9 guys who's in the lineup on a regular basis. And so then what do? You just throw a whole bunch of bullpens and you just kind of do like some simulated games on the side, and then you kind of wait for there's a blowout so that you can get them in at a time, or so that you can still keep developing this skill. But yet if you're not competing, then it's really hard to develop this pitching skill. If you only play once a week, then you're not going to be very good and you're not really helping the team much anyways. What I am curious about is there some way that you would have some guy who's just super fast who could be a pinch runner / pitcher? Is that athlete out there? I don't know.
No, that's a good question too, because the athleticism, you're training for different things, so you kind of focus your body differently. Like Shohei, you look at that dude and you're like, that's an athlete. And all these guys are athletes, but You can also walk into a clubhouse and tell, oh, I know who plays first base and I know who might be the closer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
I just think it might spurn some different ways of thinking, right? Whatever our industry is, and certainly all in sports, we're always thinking of innovative ways to think and what's a progressive way, and everybody's looking for an edge. I think there's going to be someone in an organization that'll allow at least the opportunity.
I was just going to jump in and say, if nothing else, I hope that high school coaches, junior college coaches, college baseball, summer league, let athletes be athletes. That's when Shohei thrived. Initially, they were like, oh, let's not have him play the day before the game. Let's not have him play the day after he starts. Let's let his body rest. And then they realized, no, challenge him as an athlete. And so this also goes back to play multiple sports when you're a kid. Yep. Be a pitcher and a hitter. Do it all, and that's going to make you a better athlete.
All right, 22-4 last night. Does that mean they lose 2-1 today? Is that what we're in for?
Well, it's a day game, right? And day games at this ballpark, as long as you're awake, right? You never know what's going to happen in a day game here. So it was fun to watch them swing the bats that way yesterday. It was patience, too. They drew 13 walks, and, so they didn't swing at the pitches out of the strike zone. That's actually been a problem. They lead all of AAA. They, meaning the Isotopes, lead all of AAA in strikeouts. Yesterday, they did not chase those pitches out of the strike zone. They took their walks, and then when they got a pitch, they didn't miss.
Josh, what kind of effort are you expecting out of Steph Curry and the Warriors tonight in Game 2?
Oh, man.
And you get to watch it.
I know. I'm super excited. So whenever whenever you advance to the next round, I'm like, okay, what are the starting times? When do we have day games? Or when can I watch? The thing that I think is so much fun for me as a Warriors fan is for all of the Warriors talent, they're just so smart. Draymond is so smart. Steph Curry, they're all just so smart, all the coaches. My favorite part of the story about the Kings series was that Draymond Green, the game that he suspended, he's watching it at home, and then as soon as the game ends, he drives into the traffic to get to the arena because he had ideas and he immediately wanted to start talking to Steph and Steve Kerr. Said, hey, this is what I saw. And their ability to break down a game and break down a series, I think, is underestimated. And you can beat them once, you can beat them twice. It's just so hard to beat them in a best of 7 because they're so good at diagnosing where can we get our shots and how can we stop them.
Yeah, it's what I just see yesterday, JJ, was at 15 in a row. The home team who loses game 1 of a series has won 15 in a row game 2, which is what the Celtics did yesterday. So the Warriors have that in their favor. But to me, a big piece is, can Looney slow down? I don't think he can control Anthony Davis, but what do they do? Because now it's not even just focusing on LeBron. And at some point, LeBron's going to go off, but can they do something with Anthony Davis?
Yeah, against the Kings, they kind of had to go small, and so there wasn't a lot of time that Draymond and Looney were both on the floor at the same time. But against the Lakers with their size, then you kind of have to have both those guys on the floor as often as possible, and then do you still have enough offense, and then can you take advantage and still run? Because you have to be able to outrun the Lakers. How weird is that? The Showtime Lakers, you have to outrun the Lakers.
It's something.
And so can you still do that when Draymond and Looney are on the floor? And I think you can, because Draymond so often is your point forward or your point center.
That's why Josh is the best.
No, there's no
Guys
doubt.
covered on all angles.
Hey, we just had a really, 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 really cool conversation with Scott Oberg. And I found him to be so fascinating, and I know you've spoken with him, and he's the special assistant to baseball operations for the Rockies, and what he's going through. And I say going through because it's apparent that he's still coming to grips with how his career ended at 33 years old now, and with the blood clots. And he was at the top of his game, man. He made it to the big leagues. You see guys, you've been doing this for 10 years at this club, and you see guys how hard they work to get to that ultimate goal. And the guy finally got to his ultimate goal, and then something, and dare I say, freakish. I mean, blood clot shut him down. I love the fact the Rockies took care of one of their own and gave him this opportunity. But listen to him and his raw emotion talking his way through it was fascinating.
Yeah, for all you say about the Rockies win-loss record lately, how they treat people is just phenomenal. A+. Scotty was one of my favorites. He was a guy who was up and down so many times where I would lose track. Wait, is he with us or is he with the Rockies? And I remember talking to him and joking to him with an interview once. And I'm like, once it's been the 5th time that you get called up to the major leagues in 1 year and the 9th time that you've been called up over the last 3 years, do you still get excited? Do you still, tell your parents? Do your parents
Every
lose track
time.
of whether you're the major leagues or the minor leagues? And I remember saying, it can be so demoralizing when you get sent down again, a 3rd time, a 5th time, an 8th time. And his attitude was always so good, guys. He was always, it's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity for a reset. It's an opportunity to do this. And his attitude was so good then, and I was so excited for him just on a personal level when he got to the big leagues and stayed and became such a huge, important contributor. And, oh, by the way, the problems that the Rockies have had with their win-loss record, a big part of it is because they don't have Scott Oberg anymore in the 8th inning and the 9th inning, closing out games, bridging the gap to the 9th inning. He's such a good person, and I can't wait to talk to him in detail, this weekend and also going forward, because I know he's going to be around a lot. He has so much that he can offer. And, put it this way, if it was me, every single day I would be going, why me, and feeling sorry for myself.
I flat out asked him that. I mean, do you have that conversation? You have to, right? Why me, and how do you get through it? Mm-hmm. And being around the ballpark, does that help or hurt?
What did he say about that?
He flat out said, yeah, I'm still dealing with that.
But does it help that he's at the ballpark?
Well, so I said, would it be better if you just cut ties, right? You're going to sell insurance or be a roofer or get in something, just get away. He says, I'm out there. And I actually wrote it down. He said, that's life, and you have to accept it and move on. But, yeah, there's times where I'm sitting in the dugout watching, and I know I could, in my mind I could still do it, but I know physically I can't. I've got to accept it. And Josh, he's still, you could tell. And if you get a chance, listen to the conversation, because he was really, really honest. He's still working his way through it. And I said, can we stay in touch? Because I want to follow the story. Mm-hmm. We started out, I said, how you feeling physically? Right. First off, physically, and we got into the emotional part, and no, he's still working through it. And I think that the Rockies throwing him this line and giving him this opportunity. Bob said this earlier, he's going to be able to help younger players who are going through stuff, but he was impressive, man. He was really impressive. And you could hear it, he's still hurting. He's still going through it. It's raw. He just, like JJ said, he just officially retired 4 months ago.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us who live vicariously through these guys, and so maybe that will be cathartic for Scott, being able to help them and also live vicariously through them. If anyone can find the right path, it's Scotty, because he's just such a great dude.
All right, it's the Space Cowboys Nice Topes first pitch 11:05. You crack the microphone 10:45 with a pregame show.
Yep, that is correct.
All right, he'll be right here on the Sports Sound. We'll have a great call. Always appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, this was fun. Take care, guys.
Be well. He's Josh Suchon, the voice of the Albuquerque Isotopes. And if you didn't hear the Scott Oberg conversation, we'll have that up, right?
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and take a few minutes to listen to that, because he just an insane story. I'll be out at Frank's Supply today. Come on by, say hello when you're out for lunch or you run around. If tools are part of your life, not the people tools, like the physical, you work with tools, drills and that kind of stuff. This is the day. This is the one day a year that I know you look forward to. It's Frank's Supply's 70th anniversary. So it's unbelievable savings today on professional tools and equipment. I'll be by there at 11 to 1, but they're going from 10 o'clock in the morning. So here in a few minutes, all the way to 3. This is a one-day anniversary special. So things like you purchase a DeWalt rotary hammer, you receive a carbide bit set free. $500 purchase Proto hand tools, you receive a Proto backpack free. You buy a Champion mag drill, you'll receive a $25 gift card. So Frank's Supply is basically giving customers free gift with purchase on many, many hot sale items. There'll be product demonstrations from over 35 manufacturers. Everything's on sale today, only today. Thursday, May 4th, today. 70th anniversary celebration. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Family-owned and operated. Frank's Supply is your complete source for professional tools and equipment. Come by, say hello. I'll be out there from 11 to 1. There's going to be a lot of people there. This is the day that you've been waiting for to buy your tools. Frank's Supply is at 3311 Stanford Drive, Northeast. That's 3311 Stanford Drive, Northeast. They're just about a block and a half north of Candelaria. Call them at 505-884-0000. That's 505-884-0000.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes.
J Ball today, all kinds of stuff going on. Cuatro de Mayo, may the 4th be with you. You know, all that stuff that you know. It's the opening drive. Jeff JJ Gato Roberto. It says, Lobo Hobo says, Bobcat hoe. Jeff, tell all your friends and family tomorrow's OD is a can't miss because Bobcat's going to hoe.
Yes,
that's right.
I am. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, really. Todd says, work with tools. LOL. OMG, Jeffy. I don't think you realize how funny what you just said sounded. All of you who work with tools. All right, a lot of baseball talk. We talked about New Mexico State earlier. Lobo Hobo also said Mario Mercenary. See, this is where we're going to disagree. Jeff, that is the chance you take when you don't build from within with freshmen, when you rely on big-time athletes. There's a reason these guys are mercenaries. There's a reason some of these guys going back to high school have been with like 15 different programs. Well, if they've been with 15 programs, yeah, then there's an alarm. Every program in America has got, I'm going to tell you at this point, the majority of transfers. I mean, it's just.
Not all transfers are created the same.
I mean, it really is that simple. Let me give you the text line coming in. JJ was right. The extension should not have been offered or accepted, number one, in the transfer portal. Rock chalk. Okay. If Penn State would have followed NMSU's way of doing business, Paterno would have been extended and not fired. This alone illustrates just how absurd New Mexico State's decision was. I'm struggling comparing the two because the Penn State thing was, I mean, years of a coach abusing young boys, right? Is that? Mm-hmm. I'm really struggling getting there. I know some of you are pushing that. I can't get there yet. I don't think I ever will. Babe Ruth pitching 10 seasons, but the last 5, he only did 2 or 3 games. So that's kind of what Josh was saying. As a regular thing, Babe Ruth only pitched 5 games. All right. I get Lakers and Warriors tonight. Is that what I get?
Yes, you do.
Who you got?
Warriors. Bounce back game.
It's got to be, right?
Well, the trend, it's 15 in a row.
It's 15 in a row.
After the home team loses game 1, they come back and win game 2.
Yeah, it's 15 in a row. That is the trend. All right, this just came down. This may be come up in your conversation today. So, did you see the other day? I want to say it was in Illinois. It was on my list to get to when we were in Scottsdale, but I never brought it up on the show. That Illinois, or I think that's where it was, the state stopped taking bets on Alabama baseball games. University of Alabama, and you're like, whoa.
It was like Ohio or something.
Really, right? All right, so Alabama has fired their baseball coach. The guy's name is Brad Bohannon. He was fired Thursday for, quote, violating standards, duties, and responsibilities expected of university employees. So Greg Burns, their athletic director, initiated the termination process. According to the school, there's an ongoing review, but it's 3 days after suspicious wagering was detected on Alabama's baseball game at LSU on April 28th. Multiple states suspended betting on Alabama baseball. So details are super sketchy, but this one, okay, so all of you who hate the betting, who were telling me it's ruining sports, this is what you were saying was going to happen, right? Some point somebody's going to get in. There's going to be a point shaving thing. Somebody's throwing baseball. Somebody's throwing basketball, right? This was the big fear when it became legal. I don't know the details. I can't find. Have you found details on this anywhere? I don't see them anywhere. But I'll bet by the time we sit here tomorrow, we know a hell of a lot more, right?
Yep.
Wow. All right. Be careful. You guys got to be. Just be careful. All right. So I only get one game tonight, or did I get
only
two?
one?
How's that even possible? 4 series going.
I don't know why they decided to push the Nuggets Suns all the way to Friday for game 3.
Golden State is a 6.5 point favorite. They just got beat at home. The Lakers have to be the bet, though, don't they? 6.5?
Be careful.
Be careful with what?
Betting everything.
Well, I mean, yeah, but wow. All right. Thank you to Scott Oberg, Rocky's special assistant baseball operations. He was with us with a tremendous story. Thank you to Josh Sushan. He was is the voice of the Isotopes. He was on the air, cracked the mic at 10:45 with the pregame show, day baseball, 11 o'clock, Isotopes and Space Cowboys. Thank you to Gato Roberto for filling in today. We'll see you tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Good job, Adrian. Looks good on the visual side. Jim Rome Show is next for a little while. Then you get Isotopes Baseball. Colin Coward after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.